I have for several years studied this societal situation, a fair amount, actually. And in fact, have even hired a team of research analysts who have really been digging into the complex issues involved. Now, before we're done today, I'm going to tell you what the facts are and what scientific research tells us about this whole issue. You may like what I have to say, and you may not, but it's time somebody stopped the spinning and told you the facts and what it all means to you and your family, whether you're white, black, or brown. Now, joining me today are Kat Brooks, Executive Director of the Justice Teams Network and co-founder of the Anti-Police Terror Project, the longest-running defunding police project in the country, along with Michael Denzel Smith, award-winning author, writer-in-residence at Hunter College, and podcast host. I'm also pleased to welcome Carmen Best, former Seattle police chief and now author of Black in Blue, Lessons on Leadership, Breaking Barriers, and Racial Reconciliation. Also joining me is Mark Powell, a former Reserve San Diego police officer and former vice president of the San Diego County Office of Education. So thank all of you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm not sure that defund the police was the best terminology or that it got interpreted exactly the way it was originally intended. So I'm curious how you guys feel about it. I'll start with you as a former police chief. What's your take on all this?
Yeah, well, just as you said, Dr. Phil, one of the things that I thought was quite confusing from the beginning was when you say defund the police, depending upon whom you're talking to, it means different things to different people. So some people would say it means divest and invest in other areas. Some people say it means abolish. And so we needed to at least have a clear definition to actually figure out what are we talking about when we say that. I do think that, as I've heard many times before, people want, when police respond, they want officers to be fair and just and have equity. The melanin in your skin should not determine the service of police service that you get. Mm-hmm. However, the facts bear out that there is disparity. So we need to find a path forward to reduce that disparity, to eliminate it, but also recognize that we've made a lot of movement and advancement, and we need to continue to work on that in a practical manner that makes all of us here safer.
When we're talking about a society where 1 in every 1,000 Black men can expect to be killed by law enforcement, we have not made progress. When we talk about a society where Black folks, in particular, make up the majority of people that are profiled, targeted, incarcerated by our criminal legal system, we are not talking about progress. Some things that I do want to address. Actually, there was not confusion about what defund means until law enforcement inserted that confusion. What I can say is that organizers, creators of this movement were always very clear that it was about redirecting resources to things that actually keep us safe.
Well, it might have been clear in the conference room, it might have been clear when y'all were meeting about it, but it wasn't clear on the streets, and it wasn't clear with all the people that took up the message and found a camera to stand in front of. Because I can show you 1,000 images that have the word abolish with defund. So the message got hijacked is my point.
When you're saying, suddenly we see people talking about abolish, well, defunding comes from an abolitionist perspective.
That's right.
Right? It is a long-term project that says, how do we create the conditions under which policing would not be necessary? And defund is the policy that says, well, a city budget has this much money going to police and this smaller amount of money going toward roads, towards housing, towards schools, towards recreation. Why don't we take some of this money over here, move it over here?
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.